again, happenstance. Because what we want to do is find the power to persist. Meaning, we will continue to do what we would really want to do. And not feel like, oh yeah, I tried, but and you feel like a failure, right? We don't want that. We want to say, oh yeah, I've been doing it. I've been making this happen. I've been making my choices, whatever they are, in line with what I want them to look like, okay? So this works in every part of your life, not just nutrition, okay, by far. So there's 2 P's and 2 C's, okay? Now, I came up with this when I was running down, so hopefully this will make sense. I'm not running here, but yes, okay. Can I be more present? Okay, and then I'm going to explain all of these. Second one is, can I be more prepared? Third is, can I be more curious? It's a really important one. And fourth is, can I be more connected? So we're going to talk about all of that right now. So let's go on. Being present. So with my students, I tell them, it's important that you're present. And I said, but it's more than just being in class. Because can you be here but not be here? Right? I say, how many of you have read something? You get to the bottom of the page and you're like, wow, I have no idea what I read, but I do need to get dog food at the grocery store, right? Because your mind, you're just not there. So being present. Now, how could this help us? Well, one thing that we miss out on is this whole idea of multitasking, right? Like, I can do a million things at once, but I can't focus on more than one thing at once. And so what happens then is everything mushes. And so I miss the life in front of me when I'm distracted. So the idea of participating in the moments that make up our lives, because when it comes down to it, that's all that it is. It's a collection of all these little moments. So this idea about mindfulness and meditation, you've heard a lot about this lately. It's becoming much more mainstream. But it's easy to say, but it's kind of hard to do because we're all busy. We all have lots of things. So I have a suggestion for you. And the suggestion is, use the power of the pause. Now, my students, I have a couple students in here now. The ones that are in my class right now, they haven't heard about this yet. So this is a preview. But the power of the pause. So I want to read a quote from Viktor Frankl. If you don't know who he is, he survived 4 concentration camps. And he says, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. So it's that idea that you slow down. So what I teach my students next is that without the space between a stimulus and a response, then you go impulse, right? Then that's that gut response, and you say, oh, but I was so hungry and I didn't mean to do that and I ate that and right? So remember that you need to put a little space, and all I ask is 4 seconds. So the power of the pause. So when something happens, 4 seconds, doesn't matter what it is, 4 seconds, and in that 4 seconds, change your state, okay? Which means increasing oxygen to your cells. Do something movement-wise. So I know I just started, but I'm going to have you guys do something. So everybody stand up where you are. And if you know me at school, this is I have you stand up, okay? So what I want you to do is, I'm going to teach you how to do an oxytocin breath. Okay, now you're going to feel silly, but this changes your physiology and it makes you feel, oxytocin is a feel-good hormone. So you're going to take a deep breath through your nose, and then when you exhale, and this is about nutrition, but come on in, we're going to do some breathing stuff. Take a deep breath through your nose, and when you exhale, you make the sound, and I'll show you how to do this. So, okay, so you're loud. So, perfect. Because you're changing the, so we're going to scare the people outside. Ready? 4 of these. Ready? Take a deep breath. And don't be afraid that, other people. Okay, all right, thank you. So, or you can stand. So, that's one thing that you can do to change your hormones, change your physiology, is to get oxygen to your brain, just like it's standing up, okay? Especially if you've been sitting for a little while, right? It makes a huge difference. And what else it does is when you have that little space, it widens your perspective. So I was thinking about, and I didn't do it, but I was thinking about taking two paper towel rods, the holders, the paper, and taping them to my glasses and putting them together. Because sometimes when things happen, you feel like all you can see is this little narrow, this isn't working, oh my gosh. But what you need to do is that breath, that space, all of a sudden you're like, oh, there are other options, right? So if you go to a restaurant and say that there's nothing on this menu, there's nothing that's vegetarian, and you're just, why do we always have to go here, right? But if you say, let's look at the menu, and all of a sudden, all these ingredients pop out. Because they have all the ingredients that are plant-based, they just may not have it organized as an entree. So you say, oh, well, if you have baked potatoes, can I do a baked potato within this vegetable on top, and you've got some beans, and you have some salsa? Absolutely. But if you're so worried, you're getting yourself in a tizzy, right, because you're so focused on that they don't have anything, then you're not going to have a good experience. And it protects your relationships. Because you know what happens? We say things that we regret. Has it ever happened to you? Yeah, right? It's happened to me, definitely. So if I would have, you want to say, and if you just give yourself that 4 seconds, and then you can make an intentional choice. Yes, I'm going to say this, or, I don't think so. So more options will pop up before your eyes. All right, active listening. So this is another way to be present. And it's hard. I'm super busy with a lot of things, and sometimes my kids will need me while I'm trying to do something else. And you definitely know what it feels like to have someone not listening to you. And so if you are trying to maybe be more inclusive, or you're hoping they're going to be more inclusive because you're eating in a different way and it's kind of causing some tension, the worst thing you can do is to have an interaction with them where they don't feel like you're listening to them. But if you really actively listen, and you know how hard it is to actively listen, that means you're not thinking about what you're going to say next, right? That's tough. Because we're always like, oh yeah, I had that experience, and let's no. But if you're actually listening so well that you could actually talk back to them, tell them exactly what they said, you know how wonderful that feels? Like, whoa, because everybody wants to feel acknowledged. You don't have to agree with everything, no. But acknowledged, right? And everybody wants to feel valued. But as soon as someone's on the defense, so I'm a science lady, all right? So the research shows as soon as someone's on the defense, and it takes that quick, the prefrontal lobe stops effectively working. So now you cannot use your decision-making skills because you're in the defensive mode. So they can't even come up with creative solutions. They can't even come up with a nice comeback because the blood flow has shifted in their head, okay? So it's really important to do that. And you